The story begins not with a bang but with a quiet thud. A plain brown box lands on a sorting belt at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. It's just one of millions of packages that pass through this busy hub. But this one is different. It's flagged by a customs agent. The address is slightly off. The sender information is vague. Inside, beneath layers of vacuum-sealed plastic, agents find a small baggie of white powder. It's not a large amount, but it's pure. Lab tests confirm it's high-grade heroin. This single package is a tiny thread, but pulling on it will unravel a vast hidden empire. It's the first silent alarm in a case that will expose a new kind of criminal mastermind, one who operates from the shadows of the internet. Investigators at the Department of Homeland Security start with this one package. They soon find more. Dozens, then hundreds of similar parcels are being intercepted at international mail facilities across the country. They contain illegal prescription pills, MDMA, counterfeit IDs. The packages are all different, yet they share a common origin. They are all purchased through a hidden online marketplace, a place the agents have only heard whispers of, a digital bazaar that seems untouchable, a ghost that sells poison. To understand this new kind of crime, you first need to understand the crime scene. The internet is often compared to an iceberg. What most of us use every day, Google, social media, news websites, is just the tip. This is the surface web. It's indexed by search engines and easily accessible. Beneath the surface lies the deep web. This is a much larger part of the internet that isn't indexed. Your private email inbox, online banking portals, corporate databases. It's hidden from public view, but it's not inherently sinister. It's just the part of the web that requires a password or specific access. But go even deeper, and you find the dark web. This is a small, specialized segment of the deep web. It is intentionally and securely hidden. It requires special software to access it, most commonly a browser called Tor. Tor, which stands for the Onion Router, was originally developed by the United States Navy to protect government communications. It works by routing your internet traffic through a series of volunteer-operated servers around the world. Each server only knows the server that came before it and the one that comes after it. This creates multiple layers of encryption like the layers of an onion. The result is that it becomes nearly impossible to trace the connection back to the original user. Your identity and location are completely masked. This anonymity is a double-edged sword. For journalists, activists, and citizens living under oppressive regimes, it allows them to communicate freely without fear of censorship or persecution. However, this same anonymity provides a perfect shield for criminal activity. This is the shadowy world where our story takes place, a digital alleyway where anything is for sale. Think of the dark web as a city with no street names and where everyone wears a mask. The name of this hidden marketplace was the Silk Road. It launched in early 2011. Its mission was audacious: to be the Amazon of illegal drugs. The site was only accessible via the Tor network, invisible to standard browsers and law enforcement. Its interface was surprisingly user-friendly. It looked like any other e-commerce site. It had vendor profiles, product listings with photos, and a customer review system. You could browse for strains of cannabis, psychedelic mushrooms, lab-tested ecstasy tablets, just like shopping for shoes or electronics. This professional design made buying illegal drugs feel deceptively safe. The Silk Road's creator used the pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts, a nod to the Princess Bride. The name was a title passed from one person to the next. The implication, catch one Roberts, the site keeps running. DPR was more than a site admin. He was a philosopher, CEO, and ruthless enforcer. Forum posts showing long libertarian manifestos. He pitched a vision of free markets beyond government control. He was building a community around a radical ideology. The danger was scale and accessibility. It removed the physical risks of street buys. No more meeting strangers in dark alleys. Instead, order heroin from a 5-star vendor delivered to your mailbox. That ease exposed new demographics to hard drugs. Vendors professionalized the trade, competing on quality, price, and service. A bad review could ruin a seller's reputation. DPR took a commission on every transaction, amassing huge wealth. Estimates put sales over $1 billion in 2.5 years. When a user threatened exposure, DPR allegedly tried to silence them. He was accused of attempting to hire hitmen to murder those who posed a threat. Who was Dread Pirate Roberts? To the investigators, he was a complete enigma, a digital ghost. He communicated only through encrypted messages on the Silk Road forums. He never used the same digital infrastructure twice. His operational security was flawless, almost obsessively so. He seemed to understand the investigators' methods better than they did. He was always one step ahead. He lectured his users on the importance of PGP encryption for all communications, and tumbling their bitcoins to wash them of their transaction history. He was meticulous, paranoid, and brilliant. Catching him would require a new way of thinking, a new kind of detective work combining old-school investigation with cutting-edge cyber forensics. The challenge was immense. Every clue investigators found seemed to lead to a dead end. Tracing the Silk Road server was the first major hurdle. The server was hidden using the Tor network, making its physical location a mystery. Law enforcement agencies from around the world were trying to find it. Every fortress, no matter how strong, has a crack. The first significant break in the Silk Road case came from an unlikely source: a tax investigator. IRS Special Agent Gary Alford was part of the multi-agency task force. While others focused on cyber forensics, Alford took a different approach. He went back to the very beginning. He dug through the earliest mentions of the Silk Road on the public internet. He reasoned the creator must have promoted it somewhere. Someone had to be the first to announce it. He was looking for patient zero. Alford spent countless hours scrolling through old forums, Bitcoin talk, shroomery. He searched for the first post that mentioned the Silk Road by name. His painstaking work paid off. He found a post from January 2011, days after launch. It came from a user named Altoid. The user was promoting a new hidden marketplace, the first digital breadcrumb. Altoid was a dead end, but Alford kept digging. He searched for other posts by Altoid. He found another post on Bitcoin Talk seeking an IT pro for a Bitcoin venture. In that post, Altoid included an email address. He later edited it out. Too late. The original text stayed in the forum archives. The email was russellbricht@gmail.com. A stunning breakthrough, a real name, not a pseudonym, a name that could be traced in the real world, a tiny crack that let the light in. The digital ghost now had a potential face. Dread Pirate Roberts was starting to look like the hunted. With a primary suspect identified, the investigation kicked into high gear. The FBI, led by cybercrime specialist agent Christopher Tarbell, began a multi-pronged attack. They needed to do two things simultaneously: prove that Ross Ulbricht was Dread Pirate Roberts, and find the physical location of the Silk Road server. The server was the heart of the operation. Seizing it would shut down the marketplace and provide a treasure trove of evidence. Transaction logs, vendor lists, private messages from DPR himself. Operation Anonymous, a global effort to unmask the anonymous. The server hunt was a technical masterpiece, hidden behind Tor but not perfect. The FBI discovered a flaw in the Silk Road's login page. The CAPTCHA, the little box proving you're human, was loading from a server outside Tor. That tiny mistake leaked the server's real IP address, like leaving a back door unlocked on a fortress. Agents traced the IP to a data center in Reykjavik, Iceland. They'd found Silk Road's physical home. With Icelandic cooperation, they made a forensic copy of the server's hard drives. One team secured the server, another closed in on Ross Ulbricht. Agents began intense physical surveillance. They followed him in New York City. They observed his daily routines, coffee shops, public libraries. He sat for hours on his laptop engrossed. The copied server provided the final nail in the coffin. Agents found the complete administrative backend. Agents linked DPR login times to Ulbricht's physical location and online activity. Ulbricht logged into Gmail at a coffee shop. DPR logged into Silk Road from the same IP. The digital and physical worlds had finally collided. The final act of the investigation was planned with cinematic precision. The goal was not just to arrest Ross Ulbricht but to catch him in the act. They needed to seize his laptop while he was logged into the Silk Road as Dread Pirate Roberts. This would provide irrefutable proof that he was the man behind the curtain. Any other scenario would allow him to claim his laptop had been hacked, or that someone else had been using it. The FBI needed to catch the king in his digital throne room. The chosen location for this final move was the Glen Park branch of the San Francisco Public Library, a place Ulbricht frequented. On the afternoon of October 1, 2013, the stage was set. Plainclothes FBI agents filled the small library. Some pretended to read books, others browsed the shelves. Ross Ulbricht arrived as expected and sat down at a table in the science fiction section. He opened his Samsung laptop and logged onto the library's Wi-Fi. The technical team, waiting nearby, confirmed that he was accessing the Silk Road's administrative panel. He was logged in as Dread Pirate Roberts. He was actively managing his criminal empire from a public library surrounded by children and families. The irony was palpable. The moment had come. The takedown was swift and calculated. To prevent Ulbricht from closing his laptop and activating its encryption, the agents needed a distraction. Two agents, a man and a woman, began to argue loudly near Ulbricht's table, pretending to have a domestic dispute. As Ulbricht looked up, distracted by the commotion, another agent quickly moved in from behind. He snatched the laptop from the table and passed it to Agent Tarbell. It was wide open and unlocked. On the screen, plain as day, was the Silk Road Master Control Panel. The chat window was open, showing a conversation between DPR and a site vendor. They had him red-handed. The fall of the Silk Road and the imprisonment of Ross Ulbricht was a watershed moment. It demonstrated that law enforcement could successfully investigate and prosecute complex cybercrimes. It proved that even the most sophisticated criminals can make small human errors that lead to their downfall. The case became a textbook example for cybercrime investigators around the world, showcasing the power of combining traditional detective work with advanced digital forensics. The techniques used to find the server and link Ulbricht to DPR set a new standard for how to conduct a digital manhunt. It was a resounding success for the good guys. However, the legacy of the Silk Road is complex. While the original site was shut down, the idea behind it did not die. In the world of the dark web, when one marketplace falls, several more spring up to take its place. Alphabay, Hansa Market, and others emerged, learning from DPR's mistakes and implementing even stronger security measures. The cat-and-mouse game between law enforcement and dark web administrators continues to this day. The technology of anonymity and the demand for illicit goods have not gone away. The Silk Road provided a blueprint, a proof of concept that such a marketplace could not only exist, but be wildly profitable. The story of the Silk Road serves as a crucial warning for us today, on September 16, 2025. The digital world is more intertwined with our physical world than ever before. Crime has evolved, and the battleground has shifted online. This case highlights the ongoing need for vigilance, innovation, and international cooperation in combating cybercrime. It also raises important questions about online privacy, encryption, and the limits of government surveillance. The same tools that enable criminals like Dread Pirate Roberts are also used by people fighting for freedom and human rights. Striking a balance between security and liberty remains one of the defining challenges of our time. Ultimately, the story of the hunt for Dread Pirate Roberts is a reminder that behind every anonymous username, every encrypted message, every digital ghost, there is a person. A person who eats, sleeps, and makes mistakes. And in the endless expanse of the internet, no one is truly invisible forever.